my name is Carolyne Wahlen, and I am the owner of GAP HR Services, and I do for human resources what contraception does for sex. I keep the fun in and take the risk out of employment law. And I've been doing that for the past 8 years, and none of my clients have ever been sued who've followed my advice. And today I'm going to try and teach you, in a very short time, the basics of employment law so that you as employers or as employees know what the rules are for working. Okay? So, but to be able to do that, you need to have your employer hat on. So I need you in groups. Now, group 1 is a coffee shop. Think of a name for your coffee shop, please. Group 2 is a sports centre. And group 3 is a games console manufacturer. You've got 10 seconds to come up with a name in your group, please. So the idea for naming is either something personal, something zany. So we'll have, this one is the coffee shop. This one, oh, quick go, I like that. Very good. And what's a games console manufacturer called? Gaming stuff. So, as small businesses, you get a grant from the government. Because the government, you've got all your money in here. And at the end, we're going to do a test to see how much that you have understood. And whoever gets the most coins wins, obviously. So, in front of you should all have a sheet of paper with pictures on it and possibly a laminated piece of card. Has everyone got a piece of paper? Because you need to write down the answers to help you with the final part of the session. So, could the person with the picture number 1, pick it up, picture number 1 is that one. Could you pick up that one and read out the question that's on the back, please?
How soon after you start?
Okay, for those of you who didn't hear that, how soon after you start should you get a written contract? Straight away would be good, before you start would be even better, but they have to give you one within 2 months of you starting. That is an answer for later. You might want to write down 2 months on your piece of paper. Okay, next one.
Who has protection from unfair dismissal?
Yeah, which employees have protection from unfair dismissal? Any ideas? All employees with more than 1 year's service. Okay, so if you've been with somebody for a year, they can't just turn around to you and say, I don't like you anymore, go away. Okay? This one, which is where I certainly would like to be right now.
When do you start accruing annual holiday?
Yeah, when do you start earning annual holiday when you work for somebody? Any ideas? Some employers will try and make you wait until you've been with you for a year, but actually from day 1 of working for a new employer, you earn annual holiday. So they can't put that off. So anybody who tries to do that, be it for a Saturday job or a holiday job, they are wrong. This one, the sick lady blowing her nose.
How much company sick pay do you have to pay if you're an employer more than 5 staff?
Okay, so how much company sick pay do you have to pay if you employ more than 5 staff? And company sick pay is paying people their normal salary even though they're sick and not able to work. Okay. Now, the legal requirement is that you don't have to pay any sick pay other than statutory sick pay. So if you're off sick, you would only get £9 a day from your employer if they didn't pay company sick pay. Okay, so there is no requirement to pay company sick pay ever. You're lucky if your company does. Okay, the next one, annual appraisals.
How often do you have to do employee reviews?
Yes, so how often legally do you have to do employee reviews? You don't have to do them legally ever, but best practice is once a year. Okay. Next one again, flights, departures.
What is the statutory minimum notice period after 1 month working for an employer?
That's right. How much notice do you have to give legally after working for somebody for 1 month? Have you done notice periods at all? No? If you, in the first month of working for somebody, it's instant notice. So they could turn around to you and say, I don't want you here anymore, and you have to go. Equally, you can turn around and say, I don't want to be here anymore, and go. But after a first month, you have to give them a week's notice, and they have to give you a week's notice. And if you have no written contract, then you only ever have to give them a week's notice. But they have to give you a week's notice for every year that you work for them. Okay?
How long does the trial probationary period have to be?
Exactly. How long does the trial period have to be? The trial period is something that employers have made up to make you think about doing your best work for them before you actually get confirmed as an employee. So there is no legal requirement that it's any length. It can be 1 day or it can be a year, but not over a year. But generally it's between 3 and 6 months. Okay? And the last one is the people one. Yeah.
When does protection from discrimination start?
Yeah. Now, you might have done that as part of your recruitment and selection, maybe. When does protection from discrimination start? Yep. Straight away. In fact, even better than that, it starts as soon as you apply for a job. So as soon as you send in your CV or a letter applying for a job, you are protected and they can't reject you on any of the areas of discrimination. Which leads nicely on to the next bit, which are the 9 deadly sins of discrimination. But can you call out the things that you're not allowed to discriminate on? Race, absolutely, yeah. Disability, even disability where you can't see them. So depression counts as a disability. Yeah. Age, yeah. Young or old, doesn't matter which. Yep.
Male or female.
Yeah. Gender, absolutely. What other obvious ones are there? Yep. Height.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Police force used to have to be a certain height too.
Yes, and you can still have to be a certain height. You're allowed to discriminate on height. Yes.
Gay.
Yeah, absolutely. Sexual orientation. There you go. Next one. What else have we got? Yeah.
Religion.
Yeah, religion or belief or lack of religion. You're not allowed to penalise somebody for not believing. Something else? We're getting into the difficult ones now. There's quite obvious one with women that if they get pregnant, yes, and you can't not employ them in case they do get pregnant. Okay, so we've got 2 left. We've got marriage and civil partnership, and gender reassignment, which doesn't come up very much. So those are the 9 areas that you are not allowed to discriminate on. So if anybody ever says to you, I'm not going to employ you because of one of these, you can turn around and sue them and you would get unlimited damages. Okay? So that's why employers, which is what you are at the moment, need to be very careful because you are liable for everything that your employees say. So if you send a joke round by email at work and somebody finds that offensive, they can sue the employer. They wouldn't sue the other employee. They would sue the employer for offensive behaviour and not doing anything to stop it. So you as an employer need to know what the rules are and what your employees are doing so you don't end up with a claim against you for thousands of pounds. Right, so that was the me talking at you bit. The next bit is if you stand up in groups, you need to show me what you've taken on board from this whistle-stop tour of employment law. If you get up, we have this group over on this flip chart, the middle group on this flip chart, and this group, the coffee shop, on this flip chart. And I want you to put the leaves on in chronological order based on the information I've just given you. Okay, so everybody up into the front, please. Right, you've got 2 minutes to work out and stick them on what order the leaves should be in. So it's important to remember that it's not just what the legal requirement is, but also what best practice. So you might not need to do annual appraisals, but when should you do annual appraisals? And stop cheating and copying somebody else because they could be wrong. So something like appraisals, you don't ever have to do it, but when is best practice to do it? When should you do it? So when do you have to do it? Okay, you've got 1 minute left. If you finish, choose a managing director. Okay, have you finished here?
Yeah.
Now, If you move down to that end and the two boys move up, one flip chart. Now, every answer that you get right, you get employment for. So, before you get employed, you have protection from discrimination. So, does your group have that on there? Yeah, before day one, before day one. Ooh, okay, so those two get one, and that one loses a coin. Because you get fined in real life if you do it wrong. So, from day one, you earn holiday entitlement. What have we got over there? No, where's holiday on there?
They haven't got it.
Oh dear. Okay, back away again. Right, this one, holiday, great. And this one, oh. Right, next one. In the first week, we do induction training. Induction training. Where's induction training? Oh yes, first week, that's great. And this one, induction, day one. Good. After the first month, the notice period is 1 week. Yes, very good. Is that there? After 1 week, yeah. Within the first 2 months, you need to have a written contract. So yeah, between 1 and 6 months is fine. 1 and 6. Oh. And this one, excellent. After 6 months, the trial period, which can be any length. We've got the trial period here ending before you start. That's quite impressive, really. After the first year, you should be doing annual appraisals. So here, we've got appraisals after 2 years. 1 year, that'll do. And appraisals.
So 1.5.
1.5. It's a bit too late, really. After the first year, protection starts from unfair dismissal. So we've got that down at month 1, unfortunately. Yes! Thank you very much, Manager Director. You may sit down again. In your groups, can you count up, please? How many coins do you have? Who's got the most? How many? 27. 27, okay. 23. 27. We've got joint winners, so we take chocolate. Okay, that was a lightning introduction to employment law. As you see, there's quite a lot you need to think about if you're employing people or if you're an employee, to be aware of your rights and what should be happening. And I hope that you remember some of it for your exams next year. Thank you very much and have a good trip home.